Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Rodrick Rules. By Jeff Kenny. Narrated by Ramon De Ocampo.
December. Tuesday. Mom and Dad set up due dates for Rodrick on his science fair project, and by 6 o'clock tonight, he was supposed to tell them the theme of his experiment. But at 6:45, things weren't looking so good. Rodrick was watching a show about astronauts and what happens to them after they've been up in space for a long time. The show said that when the astronauts get back to Earth, they're actually taller than when they left. And the reason is because there's no gravity in space, so their spines decompress or something. Well, that gave Rodrick the idea he was looking for. Rodrick told Mom and Dad he was going to do his science experiment on the effect of zero gravity on the human spine. And from the way Rodrick was talking it up, you'd think the results of his experiment were going to benefit mankind. Dad seemed pretty impressed, or maybe he was just relieved that Rodrick actually came through on his first task. But I think Dad started to see things a little different later on, when he found Rodrick laid out on the couch and told him to take the trash out to the curb. But Rodrick said he couldn't, because he was doing his research. December. Wednesday. Yesterday at school, they announced tryouts for the big winter talent show. As soon as I found out about it, I came up with this awesome idea for a comedy skit that me and Rowley could do. But I admit the real reason I wrote it was to give myself an excuse to talk to Holly Hills, who is Heather Hills' sister and the most popular girl in my grade. It's called The Boy Whose Family Thinks He's a Dog. And here's the script. Me, as the dad. Look, honey, our dog is standing on its hind legs. Rowley, as the boy. I am a person, not a dog. Holly, as the mom. Hey, you're not supposed to be up on the couch, you dumb mutt. Rowley. But I'm not a dog. I'm your son. Holly. Don't you growl at me. Me. We're off on a romantic vacation. I guess we'll have to put you in the kennel. Rowley. But I want to go with you guys. Me. Well, woof 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 to you too. The end. Credits. Writer, Greg Heffley. Director, Greg Heffley. Dad, Greg Heffley. Mom, Holly Hills. Dog boy, Rowley Jefferson. I showed Rowley the script, but he wasn't too enthusiastic about the idea. You'd think Rowley would be grateful that I was going to make him a big star. But like Mom always says, there are some people you just can't please. December. Thursday. Rowley went and found someone else to partner with for the talent show. He's going to do a magic act with this kid from his karate class named Scotty Douglas. And if you want to know if I'm jealous, let me put it to you this way. Scotty Douglas is in the 1st grade. So Rowley will be lucky if he doesn't get beat up at school for this. They're having one big talent show for the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. So that means Rodrick and his band are going to be in the same competition as Rowley and Scotty Douglas. Rodrick's all fired up about the talent show. His band has never played in front of a crowd, so they see this as their big chance to get noticed. Rodrick is still grounded, but the rule is that he's not allowed to leave the house, so his band just comes over every day and practices down in the basement. I think Dad's starting to wish he had worded Rodrick's punishment a little differently. But if Rodrick's band really thinks they can win this talent show, they better get serious and play some actual music, because they spent their last 2 practices fooling around with a new echo pedal they got over the weekend. I kept hearing, "Somebody farted, 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 farted." December. Friday. Dad ended Roderick's punishment 2 weeks early because he was going bonkers listening to loaded diaper practice every day. So tonight, Rodrick went to his friend Ward's for the weekend. With Rodrick out of the house, that meant the basement was free, so I invited Rowley over to spend the night. Me and Rowley bought a bunch of candy and soda, and Rowley brought over his portable TV. We even managed to get our hands on a couple of Rodrick's horror movies, so we were all set. But then, Mom came downstairs with Manny. She said, "Look who came to join you." Rats. The only reason Mom dumped Manny on us was so he could spy and tell her if we were doing anything wrong. Every single time I've had a sleepover, Manny has ruined it. The last time Rowley slept over was the worst. Manny must have gotten cold in the middle of the night, so he crawled into Rowley's sleeping bag to get warm. That freaked Rowley out enough to make him go home early, and he hasn't been back to spend the night ever since. It looked like Manny was going to ruin another sleepover. Me and Rowley couldn't watch our horror movies with Manny around, so we decided to just play board games instead. But I'm a little sick of board games. And besides, Rowley was kind of driving me crazy. He needed to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes, and whenever he'd come back downstairs, he'd kick a pillow across the room, saying, "Booyah!" It might have been funny the first couple of times, but then it really started getting on my nerves. So the next time Rowley went upstairs to use the bathroom, I played a prank on him. I put one of Dad's dumbbells underneath the pillow. And sure enough, the next time Rowley came downstairs, he gave it a big kick. Well, that did it. Rowley started blubbering like a baby, and I couldn't quiet him down. And with all the racket Rowley was making, Mom came downstairs. Mom took a look at Rowley's big toe, and she seemed pretty concerned. I think Mom's sensitive about Rowley getting injured in our house after the tinfoil ball incident. So she drove him right home. I was just glad she didn't ask us how it happened. As soon as Mom and Rowley walked out the door, I knew I'd better start working on Manny. Manny saw me put that dumbbell under the pillow, and I knew he would tell Mom what I did. So I came up with an idea to keep him from snitching. I packed some bags and told Manny I was going to run away from home so I didn't have to face Mom for what I did. Then, I walked out the door and acted like I was leaving for good. Goodbye, oh family. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I got that idea from Rodrick. He used to pull the same kind of thing on me when he did something bad, and he knew I was going to tell on him. He would act like he was running away, and then 5 minutes later, he would just walk back inside. And by that time, I was ready to forgive him for whatever he did. So after I told Manny I was leaving home, I shut the door and waited outside for a few minutes. And when I opened the door, I expected to find him crying in the foyer. But Manny wasn't where I left him. I started walking around the house looking for him. And guess where he was? Down in the basement, eating my candy. Anyway, if letting Manny eat my candy is the price I have to pay to keep him quiet, I can live with it. December. Saturday. After I woke up this morning, I went down to the kitchen. But one look at Mom's face told me that Manny sold me out. Manny told Mom everything. He even told her about our horror movies. Don't even ask me how he knew about that. Mom made me call Rowley to apologize, but then she made me talk to his parents and apologize to them, too. So I don't think I'm going to get invited back over to Rowley's house anytime soon. Then, Mom got on the phone with Mrs. Jefferson. Mrs. Jefferson said Rowley's big toe was broken and that he had to stay off it for a week. Then, Mrs. Jefferson said Rowley is heartbroken because this means he'll have to miss the talent show tryouts, and he's been practicing his magic act with Scotty Douglas all week. So Mom told Mrs. Jefferson that I would be happy to fill in for Rowley at the tryouts. I started tugging at Mom's sleeve to let her know this was a terrible idea. But of course, she just ignored me. After Mom got off the phone, I told her the last thing I needed at school is to be on stage doing magic tricks with a kid who was in pull-ups a year ago. But Mom made me go through with it anyway. She took me down to Scotty's house and explained the situation to his mother. So now there was no getting out of it. Mrs. Douglas invited me inside, and me and Scotty went up to his room to start practicing. Well, the first thing I found out was that Rowley and Scotty were not equal partners in this act. Rowley was actually Scotty's assistant. I told Scotty there was no way I was going to be a magician's assistant to a first grader. But Scotty said it was his magic set, and he started throwing a big tantrum. So I just went along with the idea to keep Scotty quiet, because believe me, I did not need any more trouble. Then Scotty handed me this shirt that was covered with all these sparkly sequins, and he told me that it was my costume. It looked like something Grandma would wear to bingo. I told Scotty maybe I could wear something cooler, like a leather jacket, but he said that wouldn't be magic enough. Anyway, it turns out all I have to do for the act is hand Scotty a prop every once in a while, so maybe it really isn't going to be all that bad. But ask me how I feel again if we get in and have to perform on stage in front of 500 people instead of Scotty's baby sister. December. Sunday. I'll tell you one good thing that's come out of practicing this magic act with Scotty Douglas. It's given me a bunch of good ideas for more Creighton the Cretin comics. Rowley quit doing his comic strip, Zoo-Wee Mama, for the school paper a few months ago, because he said he wanted to have more time to play with his Dino Blazer action figures. That means the cartoonist job is open again, and maybe I have a shot.